everybody doing again? Of course, my name is Juan Lane, and this is Changing Lanes Trucking. Had a pretty good response from my last video, and and I promised everybody that I would teach you some stuff. So I know on the last video I just showed pictures, but this time I'm going to teach you some stuff about trucking. When I was a kid, I used to see trucks come on me all the time, and even as I became an adult, I would go on long trips, and then I'd get behind a truck, just to see, how far they were going. But they would always keep going far beyond what my car would do. So that's kind of like what we're going to be talking about today. When you, as a trucker, one of the most important things that you have to do is you have to plan your trip, and you have to do that before you start. Don't say I'll do this part of the trip later and I'll do this part of the trip later. Do the whole trip before you pull out of the parking lot. Before you do anything, make sure you have an idea. Now, things change, all the time. You may have to change your trip. You may not be able to. You may go out the gate and have to change everything, or your client may call and say, "Hey, you know what? We don't want that. We want you to do this." You never know, but you need to have a solid plan before you start, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, now, first of all, when I'm out on the road, the way I find out, I was in, I forget where I am quite often, so please bear with me here. I was up in California, in Northern California, and I got a trip to come to Wisconsin. That's about roughly 2,000 miles. So it's a lot of factors that go into that. Before you even say you can receive the trip, you have to consider some things. How much driving time do I have? How fast do they want it there? A lot of different things have to go into play. But we're going to talk about all those things at another time. Today, I'm simply going to talk about if you're in the position to receive the trip, and once you receive the trip, what you need to do before you pull out. Okay, the first thing I want to do is only show you how a lot of times communication. This is called a Qualcomm right here. I don't know if you can see it. This is a little communication. It looks like it is a computer. And
you have 9 new messages, 13 of 42.
Yeah, okay, so I may have pushed the button there. But that's the communication, okay, to your driver manager or to your broker, whoever tells you which way to go. You should have some type of device like that, a dependable device, because I got a very reliable phone network, but there are times and places that my phone network doesn't work. So that particular piece of equipment is designed for this truck, and it never ceases to get me where I'm going. As a matter of fact, it has a navigation system on it that I use, and a lot of truckers, they don't use it. They use their own personal devices, but I kind of depend on that, and it hasn't steered me wrong yet. So it's pretty dependable in my name for my buck. It's just getting me there and with no problem. One of the reasons you don't want to use them, and I'm getting off the subject, but we'll get to the planning. I guess this is part of planning. One of the reasons you don't want to use a phone is because, unless you have a certain app, a commercial app, is because a phone may take you across a bridge that doesn't support the weight, or it may take you somewhere that a truck can't go. But this has been pretty reliable for me, though I gotta admit it has been some times when I went the wrong way. That was my fault, and it was pulling me out of the wrong way, that it'll take me down the street that has no truck signs. But it was mostly my fault. As long as I stay on course, it has been pretty reliable to take me down truck courses. So that's the nav system, and that's the Qualcomm. I'm not going to talk about the Qualcomm because I'm not going to show you the messages and stuff because of I don't know what the legalities are, so I don't know. I don't want to show you something and somebody be like, well, you weren't supposed to show that on, online. So I'll show you my paperwork, what I do. So that way, no matter what anyone says, I designed this paperwork, so no one can say anything. Okay, now I'm gonna show up one online. I'm gonna take a picture of it so you can see it. This just happened to be a trip that I scribbled on real bad. Some trips I get call after call. No, don't go here, go there, do this, do that. And I'm consistently study making changes to the trip. So this is a good trip right here. Okay, this trip right here, it went from Nevada to Kansas, Reno, Nevada to Olathe, Kansas. I don't know if you can. I'm gonna show it online. I'm gonna take a picture of it so that you can see it really good, what I do. Now, if you're not a trucker, you probably already cut this video off because it's boring. But if you're a trucker, you're probably closer, because just in case I share something with you that you don't know, you could really use this information. So again, I'm going to take a picture of this and put it online so that you can take your time and you can take the picture and then look at it at the same time I do. Better yet, I'm gonna take my face off because my face is not important, and I'm gonna put the paper on. Then we'll go over the paper together. How about that? We'll do it that way. Let's see. Pause this. Okay, everyone gets to see my handwriting, and they get to see what I look like scribbling and scrabbling. I hope I got everything spelled pretty decently here. Okay, the first thing I have here is this is my trip number. I don't know if you use trip numbers or not, but that's how I get mine. It's trip numbers. If you're into anything you're doing, the numbers are more important than the words. So I don't care what you are, what's your profession, you need to know your numbers. This is my trip number right here. That's a trip number that I have to know to get my fuel, and it's internal. It's internal. It's not for the receiver and the shipper, but it's for internal, the people who give me the loads. Okay. This is who the load came from, FedEx, okay? I picked it up that's my military dates, 29 May, 0800 hours. And I like to use a 24-hour plan because I run 24 hours. I run day and night. So if someone says 8 o'clock, it's important that I know you're talking about 8 in the morning, right? Because if you say 8 o'clock, I'm assuming you're talking about 08, not 8 p.m., because that's 2000 hours. And here is pickup number 1. That's important. Where did I pick this up at? This is my first pickup. This is for pickup point 1. Okay. Where am I picking it up at? I'm picking it up at, and I put this right inside the machine. 1175 Trademark Drive, Reno, Nevada. And that's my load number. I always put that on there because that's external. FedEx is going to want to know, hey, what's your load number? What are you coming over here to pick up? And you can barely say that's a 5, though. But so I tell them, hey, I'm coming to pick up load number 519617, okay? These slanted lines here, my trainer, the guy who taught me, showed me this. First is my weight. Now, this weight came from them. At 10,000 pounds, I barely get a 10,000 pound load. Most of my loads are 40,000 pounds and 38,000 pounds, but this was a light load. But it was 10,000 pounds. But even though I get my weight from my paperwork, I go right to the scales. 98% of the truckers pass the scales. I can't figure out why, but I go straight to the CAT scales because they are dependable. My buddy just got a ticket for $496 for bad weight. So you want to make sure you get your stuff weighed. The next thing I do is I pick up, this is how many pallets I had. 75 pallets, so I guess it was stacked up high. Next is pieces. How many pieces do I have? 3,946 pieces. And this is my seal number right here, with the seal on the back of the truck. I always make sure I look at my seal. I don't just write it from the paper. Everything I do, I verify. So I can't say enough. You need to, this is a piece of paper, but you have to verify these numbers to make it real. So my seal number is this. That's what seal I use for this particular trip. Next, I go right down to my delivery. It's delivery number one. Sometimes you have multiple deliveries and multiple pickups. That's very important once you're doing your Qualcomm work. So it's my first delivery. So pickup in one place and a delivery to another. That's all this run is. And it's a delivery to another FedEx. The good thing about running FedEx is they normally will just say, just drop the trailer over there and pick up empty and keep moving. I love when they say that, because some people like Walmart says, hey, park over here and wait on us to unload you before you leave, and they take their time, I tell you. And I pick it, and the drop off was 30th of May at 1800 hours. See, I use 2400 hour system, like I said. And the address that I had to take it to was 22161 West 167th Street, Olathe, Kansas. And I put their phone number down, because sometimes you have to try to call people and ask them, if I'm coming there early, can I drop it off early? Or I'm coming there late, can I drop it off late? So I put their phone number down. Why? Because when I'm rolling, I want to just open my book, and it just, everything I need is right there. The next thing I do is I put my trailer number down. That's important, because when you're getting fuel, they always ask me what my trailer number is, or they may ask you what trailer you get. And you want to make sure you verify you got the right trailer before you leave if you're just picking up a loaded trailer. That would be a mess to be halfway there and find out, oh, I got the wrong trailer. Who's going to pay for this fuel? 17758 is what I went in with, and 17732 is what I went out with. And the temperature, since I run a reefer, the temperatures are different, but FedEx and Conway are always dry loads. That means that they don't have any, they don't use any temperatures. They always send us with no food loads, in other words, just regular dry boxes, dry vans. And it's the BOL number, Bill of Lading. That's the number for them, 776332. And right now, here's some very important information. What I like about it is I put my miles on here. Put my miles. I was sitting right here at this mileage. I started. No. I started off at this mileage, and somehow I went to this mileage, and I ended up with this mileage. This is where I dropped off. Started off beginning mileage here, 250,606, and I ended up with this 251,644. And then I put in a box what's my total miles. That way, at the end of the week, I can just go back, check my trip number, and the date of the trip, and the miles, and I'll see what am I supposed to be making. I keep up with mine. That's another story for another time, another edition. But I just gave you a quick example of my trip, how I trip plan, and I keep this right here in this trusty, dusty book, right inside of my book. And as you see, I just came from a trip from California, like I said, from California here, all the way, and I'm still on it right now, to Wisconsin. I'm in Utah now. And, but that's my trip plan for that one. But I didn't use it because, see, I had all these different changes and different things I had to do. So, oh, that's something that I added. I didn't have on the last one. Let me go over this. This is where I use my fuel, my different fuel. Mostly we stop at Love's, I-15, exit 278. In Lost Hills, California. That's where I stopped at to get fuel. So all my fuel stops I put at the bottom down here. That way, all I have to do is open my book, the front page right here. See how it was right to my trip I'm taking now? Right to my trip. I'm not fumbling and stumbling. And then over here, I have a trusty, dusty folder with all my paper. That's my bill of lading, just sitting there waiting, so that when I finish this trip, all I gotta do is pull that bill of lading off, and my weight scale ticket is in there already. Everything is together. I'm not fumbling and stumbling. I look professional, and I make sure I have a pen with me when I go to the desk, and I get in and I get out, and I look good. And that's what you need to do. Plan your trips effectively, and you'll have great success. Thank you for watching Changing Lanes Trucking.